Game days when I come in the mornings, usually most of the time I come in and I mow while Coach Nolan will work on the dirt, or he'll suck up if we have too high grass, he'll suck up the grass clippings. And before the game we set up BP, then right before the game, before in and out, we tear it down with the players' help. They take off screens and help take our batting cage out. And then right before game, after in and out, and right before the umpire first pitch, myself, I chalk the lines, foul lines and batters boxes and things like that. So the halo, and if a player hadn't done it, I paint the plate. If we're going straight in and out, it probably takes about 45 minutes to an hour when you're first putting it down. And after that, it can go quicker for 30 minutes on how long it takes to put down the outfield pattern. We've got 3 directions going in our outfield for this weekend, and that takes, when it's a blank outfield, it probably takes measuring it out or sizing it up and trying to get the right angles so everything's not pointing the right way, for lack of a better phrase. It took me about 2 hours to put it down over the weekend. In our infield, I did a little bit crazier, more in-depth design this weekend, and I think on Sunday when I put it down, it took me about 3 hours to get it down where it was visible enough for my liking, so when I had to redo it after tarp pulls and things like that, I could still see it and not have to start over from scratch. It's just kind of fun time. I get on the computer and look up what major league teams have done. I try to mimic it sometimes, and then I'll edge and clean up our infield edges, try to make it look a little bit nicer. Just bigger projects that we can't do when we have practice every day that has to break up. Because it's a high traffic area, everybody's sliding back into first on pickoff moves, first baseman coming off, and just the clay gets dug out and it becomes dust. And when we take off everything from the infield, it just is a low spot. And with the rain last night, we realized it had gotten a little bit lower than we liked. So we added about 3 bags of clay, raked it, tried to smooth it out to grade level, and then Coach Nolan on a tractor had a big roller on it that would compact it down like I would do on the mound manually with a tamp. Infield is the main priority. Without the infield being playable, we can't play the game. So that's our biggest priority during the day. So if we can go a few days without mowing and they can still play on the outfield, but if the dirt can't play, then we can't have a baseball game.
I take pride in my job. It's interesting whenever you have the opportunity to make a field look as beautiful as we can make it look, and the players appreciate it, the coaches appreciate it, and I just hope that the fans, when they look out there, they appreciate what they get to watch. So yeah, I really do take pride in whatever I do. I'm just scratching up the clay, so that way what's already been packed down will form a tighter bond with what we're packing on top of it as we're tamping along with the rest of the clay. The first thing that we have to do whenever we're going to tamp a bullpen is we have to reveal all the spots that have been kind of torn up. So of course you're going to reveal what's in front of the rubber, what's beside the rubber. Say if you have somebody like a Jonathan Freebus who has this rock, his feet are always on the side of the rubber. So you have to reveal those areas too. Same thing with landing area. You're going to reveal a good chunk of that because a foot's 9 times out of 10 going to land in the same exact area. But what happens after that's still going to tear it up. So you're going to reveal any area that looks like it's been damaged at all.
Right now I'm setting in new clay here on the rubber, and we have to level it out quite a bit to allow the pitcher a flat surface to dig into. And as we compact it, because we've scratched it with a nail, we have to add just a little bit more at a time to make sure we're getting the right amount so it's even on top.
You want it to get damp. You don't want to soak it. You don't want puddles on or anything like that. You just want it wet enough to where you can manipulate the way that you want it to. You're going to take time with a nail to scratch it up. What that does is that it allows it to hold a better bind whenever it comes time to tamping new clay on top of it, which will allow the new clay to form a much flatter surface, and on top of that, a firmer surface that's less likely to break away.
And this allows us to get in and tamp down the clay here in the smaller spots along the top of our rubber.
We're going to set a towel on top of it so that way the clay doesn't clunk up on the bottom of the tamp. We're going to tamp away. Once we're done tamping it the first time, we lift up, take a good little quick clean look. If it's flat, good, you're done. If there's a little bit of a low spot, you may add a little bit more, you may not. The whole idea is just, it's better to be low rather than high, because low you can still fix. High, it's kind of, you got to do a much longer process to get that down.
After the game, we'll stay around, make sure the bullpens are taken care of, make sure the field is still playable but taken care of, and make sure everything is done as much as we can do so we can come in the next day and be able to start the cycle again. So, like I said early on, it can be up to a 10-hour day, but it's kind of the rare opportunity to work on a baseball field every day and get to see the game.
Coach Nolan knows a lot about field work. I've worked with him the past 4 years, and he's taught me a lot and got me really interested. I didn't know what I wanted to do when I got to college, and I worked out here for baseball, and working for him and seeing the attention that he puts on the field, it kind of got me into it. And we work well together for 4 years. We know what each other wants. Yeah, hand signals where he'll tell me to do something, I just know what he means. We can be on opposite corners of the field. He works really hard. He spends a whole lot of hours out here that a lot of people don't see. They just think he's the first base coach, but he spends more time than you'd think on the field, and mostly it's his work. I just like to help him out.
Can never have enough hands on deck to help around here, but I wouldn't say we're undermanned. We all have a pretty good grasp on what we're doing and what we would like to do on the field, and especially what we know how to do.
Off-season duties, I'll be here basically same thing as what I'd be doing during the season. I'd be trying to maintain the field, be working camps here and there, because it's a whole lot easier for coaches to hire somebody that they already know and trust to work on the field during camps, instead of trying to hire a crew that you aren't really sure of. You don't really know if they're going to do their best on the field or anything like that. So I'll be here all summer working camps, keeping up with the field, making it look nice as if it was full season for us.
I hear something every day most of the time about how they just like to give me a hard time about the dirt's too hard, it's too soft, too wet. They just want to mess with me. They're all good guys, and we're a part of the team being managers, so they just think we're another teammate even though we're not in uniform. So they joke around with us just like they would joke around with each other.